Okay guys, so this is the veranda. You can see this pole here. This piece has 2 bends in it, and then it has little pins, and this piece is releasable. Now these slide over a little hinged piece that sits inside of the tent, and they have these elastic little socks that go over it to kind of seal it up and keep bugs out. Now the veranda is kind of interesting. I don't love the fact that when I unfold the tent, it's not one motion unfolded. They're very clear in the instructions. You cannot fold the tent up with the veranda pole in place. You have to take it out. And they tell you to store it. Basically, when you fold the tent up, at this end here, you see like the mattress folded over and it's kind of open, and you are able to kind of store some poles and things like that in there, and it does all fit. But the fact that I have to pull this out and kind of assemble it, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I don't love that fact. Now what adds to that is that all those poles there on the floor, those poles also connect here, and they go through the socks there at the top. And there's 3 that go through into the tent, into that main pole, the closest one, and then there's 1 pole that goes back and forth this way across those poles. So really, to set this thing up, there's 5 poles to kind of hold the veranda. Now I don't see any reason, unless you were kind of in a major windstorm, why, and this is kind of my plan, is just to run this main little loop here. Once you have here, this is for the rain fly, but right here you have little loops on the inside, and this is to kind of stake this down to the ground. So once this is staked down and pulled down over that tent pole, I don't see any reason why you need those other poles. Like I said, maybe if you were in a heavy wind kind of a thing, if it was raining and you maybe got some weight on here, it would maybe trap water and get real heavy. I could see definitely needing those poles at that point. Now the poles are interesting. I've reached out to Smittybilt because as I open this box, 3 of the 4 of these poles, they have this they have these little white ends, right, that are made to clip over the tubing inside of the tent, and right here it is broken. Now I have 3 of the 4 poles here have one of those pieces broken. So I've reached out to Smittybilt. It's Monday morning right now as I'm filming this. I reached out to them Saturday afternoon as I assembled the tent. So I don't expect to hear back from them until maybe today or tomorrow. It is Memorial Day today, so they may not get back to me today. But that's your veranda. Of course, you have a zipper around the edge here, which I can only assume is for your annex. Now, I don't have the annex. They have not released a new annex. I don't know if the Gen 1 version of this tent, if that annex will fit this tent. That might be something that I'm going to get in the future, but for now, I don't have a whole lot of need for the annex as of right now. So maybe something I purchase later down the line. But they do include 2 ropes to tie here and stake down. There's 3 tie-off points, so why they only give you 2 ropes, I don't know. Now, if we take a look on the outside here, these are your window flaps. Of course, they've got little toggles here, so you can pull that open, and there's your window. Now, these windows have the mesh screen, and on the inside of that, they have a roll-up actual window that would kind of seal it off and block cold air and whatnot from getting into the tent. I'll show you the tent poles that hold these up. They're the same as the Gen 1, the ones that you kind of bend in a U shape and hook onto here. They work really well. I kind of like that design. So, and then at the back here, you have essentially, this window's exactly the same. It operates the same. And then over here, though, you have something a little different with this back window. So this window is opposite of the ladder and the door to get in the tent. And you have these loops, which use the same pole. They're all the same size, which is nice, so you don't need to remember these two go back there, those ones go over there. But what they've done here is a little interesting. So here you have a zipper on this flap, okay, which the other ones don't have. The other ones just hang loose. So you have a zipper here on the flap. When you unzip it, you can see on the inside there that there you've got your mesh screen, okay? Now, the thing about this is that there is no internal window inside of this mesh screen. You have the mesh mosquito net screen, and you have this piece. So the idea, I guess, is to prevent condensation. You reach through the tent at night, you zip this down, and this has a rod inside of it, a rigid, maybe steel, I don't know what it is, but there's a rod inside here, has some weight to it, so that this can't flap around in the wind on you, but will still allow air through this bottom in order to, I assume, keep down on the condensation inside of the tent. So the only option to close this and make this weatherproof, so to speak, is to zip down on this panel that is on the outside of the tent. All right, let's move to the inside here real quick. On the outside, you can see they have these on each side. This is kind of that U-shaped pocket for airflow. Again, those don't open or close. So moving to the inside, so this is the mattress. You can see it's huge. I mean, it's really very big. Like I said, 3 of us slept extremely comfortably in this tent as far as space. And there is just loads and loads of space in this thing. I would guess if you had, if you had 3 little kids, you could sleep 2 adults and 3 small kids in here, no problem. Taking a look at the mattress. The mattress is 2 inches thick. It's polyurethane foam, apparently, and it has this nice cover on it. The cover has a zipper. You can remove it and wash that cover, which I think is a really nice feature. Here at the corners, you've got the straps here that tension the tent poles. At the bottom, you have Velcro, and you have Velcro on the mattress so that it kind of sticks down. Mainly, that appears to be so when you unfold the tent, the mattress does not stay folded in half. It opens with the tent. The mattress does slide around inside the tent a fair bit. That might be an issue for some. I kind of found it to be kind of annoying, but not anything that I couldn't deal with. So there across the way over that window, you have the LED strip that they include, and that bag with the LED strip is Velcro onto the flap. It's completely removable. And then you have inside there, you have also the extension for the cigarette lighter, 12 volt from inside of your car. You run it down through the corner, the seam in this tent right here. There's a little gap that you can run it through. Of course, you have your grab handles. These are nice, especially if you've got kids. You can pull these out, and these help you get up and get down the ladder safely. On the inside here, you have these bungees, and the bungees, their only job basically is to pull the material into the tent as you're folding it up, so you don't have to go around and do a bunch of tucking in of the material. You got your sunroofs here. They have an outer panel that zips on, and then the mesh screen is on the inside on these ones. It's the opposite of those, but those have the awning that pushes out over it, and that way, for water purposes, there's not rain hitting that mesh directly in most cases, whereas this, there would be. Same window over here. These bungees, they seem to be pulling kind of hard on this material here and on the waterproofing tape. We'll see if that's an issue down the road. They don't seem like they're stitched to a whole lot of the material. And I really don't want the inside of the tent to rip because of those, and if that seems like it's starting to happen, I might remove the bungees They do offer, apparently now it's the industry best 2-year warranty on this tent. So theoretically, if anything rips or goes wrong, you know, it should be a fix or replace kind of a deal. I have the rain fly here in this bag. They give you a couple little bags with stuff in it. You got 4 pockets on the sides. Yeah, that's about it there on the inside. The main door, of course, has a mesh and the regular material, which, I mean, it seems pretty thick, pretty heavy duty. And let's see, what else is there to show you guys? The mounting system for the tent here, you can see it's pretty standard for what I've seen for rooftop tents. I will let you know, if you don't have like a Jeep with a Gobi rack or like a Prinsu front runner kind of thing that gets the rack up off of the top of the car, those are a serious pain to get started and tighten. You have to do it from the sides because my hands don't reach all the way through, and they're very difficult to tighten. I spent more time tightening those 8 bolts than I probably did setting up the entire rest of the tent. So that's something to think about. It really does not facilitate easy on, easy off of the tent kind of a thing. In the future, I might be trying to design a rack that will bolt onto the sidebars of the car and stay with the tent, so that I could lift the tent and the rack off together, and still obviously these bars are attached to the car and are not removable. So